We understand your projects and your properties are actually your biggest investment. And because of that, we take it very seriously. Flow Design was founded in 2017 as a design office that thought of creating a new kind of office, an office that cares about diversity in the field of architecture, but also in how that diversity can be leveraged to benefit you as a client and also our communities. Most of our projects are created by a diverse team from all over the world. And although our office is relatively small, we create big projects and try to create big ideas. Welcome to Flow Design Architects.
Welcome to Flow Design Architects, a company that works with you for you. Thank you for watching.
One of the documents that you're going to get from us right from the first engagement via email is an introduction to Flow Design Architects. Here we explain everything we do and how we get from point A to point B. The first thing we do is an initial consultation. The initial consultation, we call it a step 0. This is the moment in which we go to your property, to your project, and understand the essence of what matters, the essence, the substance of your project. We understand timelines, scope, and budget. We're there to listen and to understand everything you want. We may not offer solutions. In fact, we shouldn't, because we need to first understand what it is that you need. Once we do that initial consultation, we are able to produce a proposal or contract. That contract will outline in a general way what you want, how much it's going to cost, and how long it's going to take. That contract then gets reviewed by you, and we can certainly go through each one of the terms within that contract so that we have clarity. Just so you know, we do charge for initial consultations. The reason why is because our time is very valuable. We are designers from all over the world. Our office is an award-winning architectural office, and every second that we share with you, we are sharing value. We value ourselves as professionals and also your time. We believe you're going to get a lot more than what the consultation fee is going to cost, for sure. After we do our initial consultation and we write that contract, you get to review all of those terms, make sure that everything makes sense, and we then begin our 4-step process. Our 4-step process starts with define. This is where we define your property exactly as it is. I like to relate that to basically getting your pre-check before you get surgery, right? So surgeons always do tests and analysis of everything as it is right now. So we would do the same thing. We will measure your property in every space and every corner within that property so that we understand it. At this point, you know your property much better than us, but we will eventually know it much better than you. And that's what we do on that step. Essentially measure and understand what it is that we're dealing with. The reality. It could be an empty lot. What are the opportunities and constraints within that empty lot? It could be a home addition. What's there, it's so important because it will be married to what's being done to it, right? And we have to maintain that connection, understand that connection. All right. Once we finish that step 1, we will send it over to you. We send it over as a document for you to sign. And generally, all we're seeking is, does this project, does this existing set of drawings represents what you generally understand to be true within your property? We don't need you to go measure the corners and confirm dimensions. In fact, we will not even give you existing dimensions within that document. It is just generally saying, does that look and feel in general like your home or like your project? It could be a commercial project also. You say yes, looks great. We proceed to the next step. Step 2. Step 2 is the fun step, envision. Why is it the fun step? It's because it is the moment in which you get to really tell us what it is that you want. And we want you to do this with your family and friends or with stakeholders and people within the team, people that will be affected by this project. If it's a public job, it will be the community. If it is a private home, it will be you, your children, your family, your grandmother. If it is a commercial office space, all of the members that will be involved on that will use that space, and users should be involved. During that step, you get to write what you want as a program. For example, 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a garage. That tells us the what. And we will have an idea of that from the first initial consultation, and it will be on our contract. But we want to get it from you in writing, because that's the target. We want to make sure you get everything you want. So not only are you going to write that, and you could also write definitions of what that feels like too, but we want you to use images. You know the say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you're able to produce a set of images on a nice package and send that over to us, it will really click. We will really understand each other. Don't worry, if you've never done this before, we're going to upload different documents of samples of different projects that we've had and very successful envision steps. So there's nothing to worry about. At the end of the day, this step will help us understand the what and the why of this project. It is everything you want on a vision. That's why it's called Envision, all right? And I like to relate that to, for instance, if you show us a bunch of pictures of the ocean and water and views, it will immediately let us know how much you love the light in the ocean and things like that. It helps us define the theme of your project. At the very end of the day, it is your project, not mine. I am a designer, I am an architect, but I'm not designing for myself. I'm designing for you. And that's what the entire Office of Flow Design Architects is doing. So we need to understand what it is that you want. That sets the target. And once that's done, and you send us that document, we will also create a list of suggestions. It is essentially our own version of what you've created. Why? Because after so many years of designing projects and buildings, thousands and thousands of projects, once we see some of the things that you have, we're able to understand a direction and a track. And I relate this to some of the online shopping in Amazon, where they say, you may want this. You may also want this. But this is not done by algorithms, and we're not trying to track all your data. We just happen to know what we do very well. And we think we understand the directions where you're going. If you happen to not agree with those images that we suggest, you can also let us know. We'll be fine. It's your project, not ours. We just try to understand it. Another thing that we try to do, and is included within our package, is actually a meeting via Zoom or in person where we ask the questions. What is it about these images? What are you looking for? Oftentimes, we don't even need to meet. Your images and your text and your descriptions of the project are so clear that we don't even need to check it or question it. It is self-evident. But there are moments in which something doesn't make sense, or maybe we're just very curious about the direction, and we will do a meeting so that we can understand what it is that you're looking for. After that package is put together and sent, you do the same thing you did for step 1. Review it, sign it, and approve it. We will not design until you do that. It is very important. It's the target. And we cannot be designing for a target that we cannot see. We cannot be designing for a target that we cannot understand and that is shifting. All right? So once that's completed, we can move to the next step, step 3. Step 3, ironically, is called design. And you would say, well, aren't we designing? Yes, we're designing from the very beginning. This is a process. It's an iteration. We keep evolving the concepts and the ideas. And those concepts, we like to organize them in a way that you can understand it and the entire public can understand them. So design is where we utilize the existing conditions that we obtained during step 1, also information that we obtained during step 0, initial consultation, and of course, all of the information that you provided during step 2, envision, which is very, very important. What do we do here? You may not hear from us for a little bit, and it doesn't mean we're not working. In fact, we're really working. We're very, very focused. We're generating 2 design options for you. And you will wonder, 2? Yes, we're generating an option that represents generally and clearly what it is that you have expressed. Sometimes many clients have sketches of what it is that they want, and we don't disregard that. In fact, we take it very, very seriously. We want to deliver to you. So we do that one option, trying to comply with codes and regulations and concepts and everything, but meeting your needs step by step. It turns out that once we do that option, we will learn so much about the project and the process that we may come up with some aha moments. Those moments are solutions to problems you didn't see or issues you couldn't foresee. After all, you're not an architect, right? So we will come up with other solutions on that second option, and it's basically your option to another level. I have to say, most of our clients actually agree to that option almost 90% of the time, because it is a refinement of what you've already given us, or another way of looking at it. And then you'll wonder, what, just 2 design options? Yes, you get 2 design options, but we do many options within our office. We're sketching concepts on trace paper and playing with all of the possibilities within your project. But we only deliver the 2 that truly make the cut. If by any reason there is something within those options that's missing within the step 1 and step 2, more importantly, step 2 envision, we have to be very accountable for that. There may be a very strong reason why we missed it. And just so you know, most of our meetings are recorded. The reason why is because we really want to deliver. And I'm going to stress this throughout the whole process. We really want to deliver. And if you ask for 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms and we only show 2, there may be a reason why we're doing that. We should not be missing that bathroom because that's part of your dreams. If it is being missed, we must have a reason why and be able to explain it. For instance, if you want a 7-story home and we on step 1 and step 2 understand throughout the sites and the conditions that a 7-story home, it's not possible within these bylaws within the district, and we'll get more into that later. So you don't need to understand that. We will explain this is the reason why we can't deliver that. And we may actually stop prior to even designing it. We don't want to be billing you for things you don't need, right? But we do want to listen to you, and we do for sure want to deliver. That's it. We begin doing those design options, and you will receive a nice email from us saying, hello, congratulations, we are ready to present 2 amazing design options to you. It probably won't be like that. It's a typical email we use, but in general, that's the gesture. We're ready to meet, and we're ready to go over the 2 design options that we've generated. We will present the design options to you with their pros and cons, and we'll give you time. Oftentimes, we give within 7 days. But take a look at our contracts. By the time you watch this, our contracts might have changed. So I want you to be mindful of the fact that at the time of recording, this is the truth. We may have other tweaks because flow doesn't stay static. We keep flowing. We keep growing and evolving. That said, we presented 2 design options, and they will contain everything that you wanted: elevations, perspectives, floor plans, and you may not know again much about that, but we will show you what that is and we'll walk you through it. We really tend to treat most clients, if not all, like if they're beginners, because we're experts, and so that we don't miss anything, we have to just be very thorough and clear. If this kind of level doesn't work for you, you can let us know. I have done projects before, I understand plans, and I understand elevations. And we'll skip through and make sure that we deliver to you. But just understand, we're trying to educate the general public here. And to do that, we have to be thorough and detailed. All right, so things you will not have within the design options. And I'll explain why. You will not have set sizes of members, structures, and elements that tend to take a lot of time and energy to be fine-tuned. What do I mean by that? We will show that we may need a column at X location, but we will not know the size of that column until the last step. Imagine us having to detail 2 design options for a project thoroughly as a construction document set. It will be impossible, and we will just not be within the budget for anybody. It will be very difficult. But once you pick one or the other of the design options, or a combination of them, or one of them with edits, we will be able to then zoom right into that and create a progress permit set, which is part of step 4. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Within step 3, just so that you understand, we will just generally show everything that you wanted, and we will show plans, elevations, perspectives. Depending on the level of service that you've required or requested, those will be detailed to that level. For instance, a Corinthian level project will have probably very nice looking renderings, sharp and colorful. But if it is a Ionic or Doric type of project, you may not even have renderings in color at all. You probably will have some black and white, very simple renderings, right? But that's just one example. It's all about the level of time, intensity, and detail that you require. Okay? So within that set, again, generally we'll define what it is that you want, meaning the necessities that you've told us from step 0 and step 2, utilizing a portion of what it is there, which is very important. What exists is super important to us. We want to be sustainable. So that's it. Once those options are created and you select one or the other, there are a couple of things that may happen. You may travel abroad or meet a friend, or your conditions may have changed. For instance, we've had cases in which a project is being designed around a couple, around a relationship. You may know where I'm going with this. If that relationship was to end, that project will not have the same meaning as it had at the very beginning. That's just one example. If you're designing your home around the love that you have for your partner and you end up breaking up, that will really change everything about step 2 that we've been using to design your home. That triggers what is called additional services, because we will have to basically redesign your home again. That's one example. There may be others, not as tragic as that, but it may be, I no longer need this. I no longer care about it. We've had cases in which the customer or the client or partner decides that he no longer wants to have 3-car garages. He will only have 1. He no longer, and that may happen on a flip of a moment, because that's how life is. Things change. Those will also trigger additional services, and we'll have to charge extra for them. In theory, what I'm trying to say is that if step 1 changes or step 2 changes, step 3 is going to have to change, and we will not be able to deliver step 4 as previously planned. So we redefine, create a change order proposal, send it over and tell you how long and how much to do those changes. To be fair, it's only the right thing to do to ensure that we deliver to you what it is that you want. But it's also fair to us to ensure that we have completed our services. We can only guarantee that we've completed our services when we can go through that checklist of items from the very beginning and have met all of your needs. That brings me to step 4. Construction documents. Document. So that step clearly outlines in our intro document what it is you're going to get. It has basically everything you need to obtain your building permit. Your contractor or yourself, depending on the type of project, can go to the building department with those documents and in theory obtain a permit relatively easily. Questions we get are going to be actually put on another slide, on another video, where I'm going to answer many of the frequently asked questions by stage. Each phase has its own set of questions and its own set of parameters, and I want to make sure I deliver. But this basically outlines a general idea of what we provide from step 0 to step 4. But let me zoom in more on step 4. Step 4 will have floor plans, elevations, sections as needed, roof plans, perspectives, details. Depending on the type of project and the scope, this may vary, of course. We'll have framing plans and structural plans. It all depends on the type of services you've requested. It will also, to our knowledge, satisfy the necessities, the needs, and the regulations. We're designing to the intent of what the code requirements are. Our design intent is trying to ensure you have a compliant building. It's just a design, but at the very end, the compliant building is a result of our work, of the product of the contractor actually. But basically, those drawings will do their best. We will do our best to deliver a compliant building in the set of drawings. This I'm gonna have to do a parenthesis, but we'll touch more base later, because we are architects, not builders. We're only liable for what it is that we provide. We do not provide an actual compliant building. We design to the intent of providing that. But it's up to the contractor and much more beyond us to ensure that you get that. That will be another story. So with that regard, if it turns out that the building department requires something extra that wasn't necessarily clear, oftentimes we will provide that at no cost to you. If it turns out that it's something really, really bizarre that we've never encountered, we may call you and say, hey, this is not common, and we're gonna have to do additional services for it. But we can discuss more on that later. Just rest assured, this barely ever happens. Oftentimes, after we deliver that set of documents, the process is very smooth, just like flow, and you will be able to get your building permit and move forward with your project. Rest assured that we're here for you and that we're here with you. And if there's any calls or any questions, we're certainly gonna try to answer as soon as possible. With that, I have just given you a whole summary of our services from step 0 to step 4. It's time to zoom in. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Welcome to Flow Design Architects, a company that works with you and for you. Thank you for watching.